Have you seen those amazing Instagram pictures where one person just almost dives out of a train on a 9-arch bridge? This is in Sri Lanka. And in Sri Lanka, train rides are one of the best experience a tourist can have. But there's a catch. In Sri Lanka, the train rides are not as easy as you book in other countries. So, in this video, let's go through some of the details that you have to know before you book your train ride in the country. Let's start with the famous train rides in the country, the Hillside train rides. So, starting from Kandy onwards until the city of Badulla, the train rides of the hill country are very famous for its picturesque surroundings. The tea plantations, the tunnels, the bridges, the amazing climate, it's just one part of this beautiful train journey. Well, if you're planning to get into the hill country train ride, then your best bet would be to take the train ride from either Kandy to Nanuoya or from Nanuoya to Ella. I've seen some train journeys are as long as 7 hours. The train journey from Kandy to Ella itself is about 7 hours, but you can actually use some of that time to use on your tour rather than spending all that time of the day during one train ride. So, if you take the 8:55 train from Kandy, you reach Nanuoya by 11:52, or you take the 11:10 train from Kandy and you reach Nanuoya by 2:30. So this is a 3-hour train ride but has amazing views of all you can imagine. And then another famous train ride in the country would be the train from Nanuoya to Ella. The train ride starts at about 9:18 in the morning from Nanuoya and arrives in Ella by 1:30. So Nanuoya is the closest train station to the city of Nuwara. So many of the people actually know the city of Nuwara, famous for its hill country, the amazing climate, and it is pretty famous among the Sri Lankans too. So if you really want to get to Nuwara, you have to take the train ride to Nanuoya, and then from there you can ask your chauffeur guide or even get onto a bus or even a taxi to come to the city. Other interesting train rides in the country could be the train ride from Colombo to Ramukkana. Ramukkana is the closest train station if you want to visit the Pinnavala Elephant Orphanage. So maybe on the day that you are going to Pinnavala, you can get a train ride from Colombo to Ramukkana and enjoy the train. Or you can travel from Galle to Colombo, passing the beautiful coastal line of Sri Lanka. Another amazing train ride would be the train ride from Colombo to Jaffna. The journey itself by car would take minimum 8 hours, I would say, but the train ride is only 6 hours. There are different train tickets that you can purchase in Sri Lanka: 3rd class, 2nd class, 1st class, and even the observation. So in the 3rd class, it's actually what the general public usually travels in. Seats are there but they are not reserved, so it's more like first come first serve. But for a longer train ride, even train rides that are more than 30 minutes, I would actually recommend getting into a train which you have your seats reserved. So preferably 2nd class and above. 2nd class, you can get your train seat reserved. Now, the difference between the 1st class and the 2nd class is 1st class train rides are in the air-conditioned carriages. So in the 2nd class, you can open your windows, take a walk around, peep outside to get an amazing Instagram photo shot. But the thing is, in the 1st class, it's air-conditioned and more comfortable. In the observation carriage, it's all glass around you and the amazing views can be seen very easily. To get the most amazing train ride experience, I would actually recommend the 2nd class train ride, because This way you can mingle with the locals, walk around the train, get some amazing photographs by peeping outside the windows and feel that cool air on your face and even enjoy this amazing train ride. Before you board your train ride, make sure that you buy some munchies, because the trains sometimes have cafeterias, but this is not a regular in the Sri Lankan trains. Even in the cafeterias, you find soft drinks and maybe some short eats, but not the quality ones that the tourists would prefer. Mostly it's biscuits or some rolls, patties, cutlets or even some buns. So it's best you buy some munchies and keep it with you when you enter the train. When it comes to the washrooms, the train washrooms are the worst. It's very basic inside the Sri Lankan trains. Internet is provided during the expensive train rides, maybe like the Rajdhani Express, but when it comes to Sri Lanka, the internet network is not that great outside the towns. So internet is not at best when it comes to within the train rides. There are no power outlets, so you better have your phones, laptops or all electronics charged before you enter the train ride. When it comes to luggage space, the Sri Lankan trains only have a very limited available for your luggage. You might have a hood rack just above your seat and that's all about it. So if you're planning to travel with your luggage, you better hire another vehicle rather than traveling in the train. Those are some of the most important things that you have to know before you book your train ride. Now let's see how you can get your train tickets. Option number 1 would be to book your train ride through the Colombo Fort railway station. This is the main train station in Sri Lanka and you can book almost any train to any destination. Visit the counter 17 and get yourself the train ticket, but make sure that you tell the correct train destinations, because as you might have guessed, even I have failed and booked wrong trains. Make sure that you know which sort of train ride you want, either the first class or the second class or the third class or even the Rajdhani or the observatory deck. Because if you just go and ask for a train ticket, they might give you the second class or even a third class train ticket. Option number 2 would be to book your train ride through the mobile networks. When you enter Sri Lanka, you can get yourself a mobile SIM at the airport. If you get a Mobitel SIM, you can dial 365 and then reserve your train tickets. If you buy a Hutch SIM, same 365 and then you book your train tickets. If you are a dialogue user, you can dial 444 and then book your train rides. Booking your train ride through the mobile networks is a bit expensive. It's usually 8 rupees per minute to wait in line and to get their details sorted, and also 10% of the train ticket's value for the mobile network as a service fee and then the train ticket. Still, you will have to take your reference number which they give it to you and then go to the counter number 17 at the Colombo railway station and then get your printed ticket. Option number 3 would be to contact your travel agent and then they will book their train tickets through a known party in Sri Lanka. However, when you are buying it from different parties rather than yourself, they will be charging a service fee. The most important thing about your Sri Lankan train journey is getting onto the train. Be sure that you are there at the train station at least 15 minutes before, because there is a high chance due to the traffic or any unavoidable circumstance you might miss your train ride. Sri Lankan trains are never early but mostly late, but don't take a risk. Be there on time. The official website to check your train timetable will be here. So you can either visit this website or you can find a link in the description. This is almost everything about the Sri Lankan train rides. Don't forget to book your tickets and enjoy an amazing train ride in Sri Lanka.